So we wanted to take a pause in our usual content from LinkedIn, and I wanted to introduce you to Ed Evarts. He is a published author, and he has a new book, a second book, coming out this September. And I really wanted to bring him here today because I actually think he has a lot to say to us as business leaders. He's been working with us as a coach for over 12 years and been in the corporate space for much longer than that. And in his new book in particular, he has a chapter on the power of pause. And as I was thinking of ways and new content that I could be bringing to the table that can actually be of benefit to us, for some reason, like this particular chapter, because we're going to be doing a video on this topic, later on, it just kept resonating with me because during the season, I feel like we have really, as a business community, been put on pause. And I can say, as a type A person myself, it can really be maddening and hard. And Ed has many years of experience in helping business leaders kind of fix their mindset. And I would like to have some guidance on positive things that we as business leaders can be doing in this season of pause, where this doesn't have to feel so anxiety inducing or so cagey. I think there's actually opportunity here for us to show up as better leaders and to set ourselves up for success when all this is over. So Ed, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. I know this book has come out of years of experience. So first of all, can you tell us what is the power of pause?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Christina, thank you for having me with you today. This is a great idea in this very unusual time. And this pause that we're experiencing is a little different, right, in respect to the types of pauses that business leaders anticipate day to day in the operation of their business. We could spend days talking with leaders about things that they could be doing differently in order to be more effective, but there are really just a few key behaviors that leaders need to practice and do during these unusual times in order to stay connected to their workforce. A lot of leaders are going to kind of jump to business and think about revenue and cash flow, and they're going to forget about people who are the aspect of their business. So the first thing that leaders need to do, and if you're doing this, great, and if you're not, it's a great time to practice, is demonstrating empathy, right? This is a time where you need to understand what other people are going through because what they're going through is new and different for everyone, including themselves. And so demonstrating empathy with individuals that work with you is a key leadership strength, and it is one of the chapters in the book where we talk about the importance of empathy. But empathy is a significant way to build relationships in the workplace. After empathy is really listening and being curious. So here you want to ensure that whether you started the conversation or someone else has started the conversation, that you're really listening to what they have to say and you're demonstrating curiosity. Because that's what great leaders do in respect to building relationships. They want to be curious about what people are experiencing, why they're experiencing it, what they're doing about it, etc. They also want to repeat for clarity. Right? So repeating for clarity is a great way to ensure that people know that you understood what it was that they said, because oftentimes people talking and people listening hear different things. So you want to repeat for clarity, and then you want to get to the power of the pause. And this is also a chapter in the book, but it talks about the power of pausing before making instant decisions. And oftentimes leaders, because of the need to stay ahead of competition or because pausing feels slower, don't pause, and they make instant decisions or they kind of take over what's happening in the workplace. And pausing is a great way where you can say something like, hey, this is a terrific idea. What I'd love to do is think about it overnight. Let me get back to you tomorrow with my response versus responding immediately. And if anything, it gives your colleagues and coworkers the impression that you're thinking about it and that you're taking into consideration what they said rather than kind of knee-jerking that and instantly answering. And so pausing can become a really powerful way to make better decisions. And then we need to come back, and the last step, Christina, is really move to action, right? We've got to keep things going. We've got to keep momentum moving forward. We don't want to pause, forever, right? We've got to start looking to the future and thinking about what the future is going to look like and really moving to action. So empathy, listening, curiosity, clarity, pausing, and action are all key steps that great leaders can do today in order to make great progress.
Well, is there anything that we can like specifically do? Because I feel like mindset is really gonna be our battleground right now, because we don't know when this is going to end, this pause. Um, and we want to be taking action, but we can't. So, or can we? Are there
Well,
things we can be doing?
Well, I think there's a couple of things, going back to the steps that I just mentioned. If I were a leader of a large organization or even a small or medium-sized organization, curiosity would be my area of interest, right? It's staying connected to people and either having a daily or every other day town hall call saying, hey, what's going on? What are we hearing from our clients? Businesses have been impacted everything from shutting down to working from home 100%, right? So I have a number of clients who are still fully in business. It's just everybody is working from home. So each business is different. Each experience they're having is different, but creating curiosity and ensuring that your employees believe that you understand what they're going through and the business decisions that you're making reflect what they're going through will help establish really, really great relationships. And then following curiosity, again, you don't want to just kind of get stuck in quicksand. You got to move to action. So based on what I heard, based on where we are, here's what we're going to do. This is only a short-term solution. If I hear something different tomorrow, we might change it again, but let's keep moving in this direction. People need to feel and experience a sense of momentum in order to feel that there is hope at the end of the tunnel. Because if they get stuck and don't feel that there's hope, things will collapse and not go in the direction that you want. So I would encourage all leaders to be very curious with the people that they work with and always move to action.
So, what would you say to the CEO perhaps who does have 1,000 employees? Like, how can they be practicing empathy or with that many people? Like, how would they structure their time?
Well, I am a big fan also of, one of my worst phrases, role modeling, which is a leader recognizing they can't get to everyone. So they pull their leadership team together and say, hey, everyone, here's what I'd like to do over the next couple of weeks. I want to break the company up into smaller nuggets. I want to role play the types of conversations that I want you to have with people. And I want us to start outreaching and, do it with your managers and then set your managers free to do it, doing it as well. And let's have conversations with our employees to check in on how they're doing. Not project-based, not client-based, not how's, every time I meet with my boss, all we do is we talk about the projects, and anytime it was time to talk about me, we always ran out of time. So, this is now a time for us to talk about them. And, if they also want to share with us any updates on clients or things they're concerned about, they can do that at the end. But, we want to ensure that everyone is okay. And it's a great time to practice empathy. It's not just something you flick a switch and suddenly tomorrow you're the most empathetic person ever, but it is something that takes practice. And I think leaders can role model it with other leaders who can role model it, and it just works its way down the organization.
So, for external audiences, would that change at all? Like, because um, we can't be selling or marketing like we always have. Like, how can we? Do you have any guidance on how we can be practicing empathy with an outside audience, not just our employees, but with outside, clients or other stakeholders?
Yeah, look, I think the model is simple. I don't think it's any different. So, I could today be calling my clients saying, hey, I'm not checking in on our work together. I'm not looking for that spreadsheet you told me you'd send me last Friday that you haven't sent me yet. Whatever it might be. How is everything going? How is your family? Everyone's safe and secure. It could be a 5-minute conversation. This isn't a 2-hour experience, but, just the reality that somebody at my organization or a vendor or client, depending on which direction you go, is taking a couple of minutes just to check on me is invaluable. And I don't just mean that financially or capitalistically. I just mean that, humanistically, that person thought it was important to just check on me.
Well, Ed, I can't wait till we get to kind of really do the full-blown project and really do a deep dive into these topics. Ed's book will be coming out this fall. It is called Drive Your Career: 9 high impact ways to take responsibility for your own success. Now more than ever, I think we're going to have to learn a different set of skills and set a different set of expectations. So thank you so much for your time today, Ed, and for sharing your expertise and your wisdom with us.
Thank you, Christina.